Am I the asshole 27? Male for standing up for my fiance 27? Female in our relationship by refusing to go on a family trip that excludes her? I'm a 27 male, and I've been with my fiance. We've been living together for 3 years and we're getting married next June. My mom 59, female wants to plan a cruise with just her. My dad 59, male. My brother 23, male, and my sister 21, female, and exclude my fiance. I feel like this is a bit ridiculous, given how long we've been together and how integrated she is into our family. My mom framed this trip as a one last family vacation before I get married. But to be honest, I feel like that ship sailed a while ago. I've long since moved out of my childhood family home and started my own life with my fiance. The dynamics have shifted, and I feel like this trip should have been planned before I moved out, not after I've already started my own family unit with my partner. It feels like my mom is trying to recreate a past dynamic that no longer exists, and I'm not comfortable with that. I also feel I'm more a family unit with my fiance at this stage of the game than my parents and siblings. When I mentioned this trip to my fiance, she was understandably hurt and felt like my mom was putting me in a position to choose between them. I agree with her. My fiance is my main priority now, and I don't want to start our marriage off on the wrong foot by prioritizing my mom's wishes over hers. When I talked to my mom about it, she got highly defensive and said, "Oh, I forgot that when a son gets married, he is expected to pretty much abandon his family of origin and center his life around his fiancée/wife and what she wants." She also said, "God forbid a man considers his own mom's feelings or that of his birth family for even 2 seconds once he's in a serious relationship. He's accused of being disloyal." Then she asked if this is my fiance's influence, which I found highly insulting, implying that I'm not thinking for myself or that we're not a team. What really got under my skin was when she said, "I feel like if the genders were reversed and this was a mom asking this of her daughter, it wouldn't be framed as a betrayal to her fiancé if she went." I feel like this is a pretty sexist comment, and it implies that I'm supposed to be less of a partner or less committed to my fiancé just because I'm a man. What's even more surprising to me is how defensive my mom got about this. I would have thought she'd be more concerned about my fiancé's feelings, given how close I thought we all were. Instead, it feels like she's prioritizing her own desires over my fiancé's feelings, and that's not sitting well with me. I could be the asshole for telling my mom I'm not attending any family functions, vacations, where my fiancé isn't invited, and this could make me the asshole because I'm not respecting my mom's wishes. Am I the asshole for telling my husband to cut contact with his half-sister after she threatened me in our marriage? Hi, I, 34 female, have been married to my husband. 37 male, for almost 8 years. We have a 6-year-old son together. And for the most part, our relationship has been stable. Ups and downs like any marriage, but nothing outrageous. My husband has a half-sister, Amanda, 40, female, who lives in another state. They share the same dad, but have different moms. I'd only ever met her once over FaceTime, and she seemed fine. A bit intense, but friendly. In the beginning, she would occasionally message me nice things like, "You're such a great mom," or, "I'm so happy my brother found someone good." She even once offered to babysit if we ever wanted to take a trip, which was funny because she lives almost 500 miles away. But I appreciated the gesture and thought she genuinely meant well. My husband had told me before that Amanda has a history of going no contact with people out of the blue, including her other half-siblings. Apparently, she's cut off 2 of them for years at a time for reasons no one fully understands. I should have taken that as a red flag. Anyway, about a year ago, my husband and I were going through a rough patch. Stress from work, parenting burnout, poor communication, the usual cocktail of mid-marriage tension. Around the same time, I had to travel out of state for a work conference. On my last day there, my coworkers and I went sightseeing. I posted a few harmless Instagram stories, pictures of food, a sunset, and the city skyline. That same night, I got a message from Amanda. It said, "Don't be fooling around and betray my brother." I remember staring at my phone like, what the actual hell? I had barely ever spoken to this woman beyond polite small talk. I replied something neutral like, "Excuse me?" But she didn't respond. When I got home, I showed my husband the message, expecting him to be as shocked as I was. Instead, he looked awkward and admitted that he had vented to Amanda about our marriage problems, behind my back. Apparently, he'd told her that we'd been arguing more lately and that I'd been distant. He swore he hadn't said anything bad, just that he needed someone to talk to. I told him I was uncomfortable that he shared private details with someone who doesn't even know me. He said I was overreacting. Then things escalated fast. Within a few days, Amanda started blowing up my DMs with long, nasty paragraphs. She called me lazy, said I abandoned my child by traveling for work, told me I was selfish and that I don't deserve my husband. It went from rude to downright scary. One of her messages said, "I'm not scared to go to jail, bitch. I'll show up in your state." And another one, which honestly made my blood run cold, said, "If your marriage goes downhill, remember me. I do witchcraft, and I'll use it on your family." That was my final straw. I blocked her immediately and showed my husband everything. He barely reacted. He just kind of shrugged and said, "I don't know why she's acting like that." No anger, no outrage, no "how dare she threaten my wife." Nothing. After I pressed him, he reluctantly unfriended her on social media and blocked her number. But it felt performative, like he was doing it just to shut me up. Fast forward to now, almost a year later. Last week, Amanda texted him from a different number. The message said, "Hey, how have you been? How's the family? Are you and my name still together?" The moment I saw that, my stomach dropped. Why does she care whether we're still together unless she's trying to stir up drama again? My husband didn't reply, but he didn't block her either. I told him I wanted him to cut contact completely. No more texts, no social media, no "maybe she'll change." She threatened me, insulted me, and tried to involve herself in our marriage. I don't want someone like that anywhere near our lives. He didn't really respond when I said that. Just stayed quiet and changed the subject. Now I'm wondering if I'm being too harsh. He claims he barely talks to her anyway, but I think the lack of boundaries is the issue. I'm not asking him to choose between me and his family. I'm asking him to protect our peace and show basic respect for our marriage. So, am I the asshole for asking my husband to go completely no contact with his half-sister after she threatened me and tried to interfere in our marriage?
Am I the asshole for refusing to reconcile with my sister and her husband after they called me crazy during a medical and legal nightmare that nearly killed my partner and I? This year was the most brutal year of me and my partner's life. My partner and I discovered our rental was full of hidden black mold. She developed severe asthma from it, something she'd never had before, and passed out multiple times. We had to call ambulances. She passed out multiple times, and I even ended up in hospital myself from breathing issues and hypoxia. We managed to win $10,000 in tribunal against agents and landlord. At the same time, I was dealing with lawyers, inspectors, caretaking my partner, landlords who were covering it up while still working full-time. It was chaos, pure survival mode. I still haven't fully processed it. I was a pure caveman for 3 to 4 months in full fight mode. Now that we're both getting better, the whole saga feels unreal and like it never happened. I'm getting sleep paralysis every night, can't sleep, etc. Pretty sure I have PTSD symptoms, but besides the point. Instead of supporting me, my sister and her husband decided I'd lost it. They called me crazy and said I was making my girlfriend crazy too. They completely ignored the medical reports and photos. I got my own inspections done too because the LL paid his own inspectors to say there was no issue. My inspectors found all the black mold in the walls and ceiling. When I tried to explain how bad it really was, my sister dismissed it as overreacting, gaslit me, and then kicked me out of the family group chat. Her husband has a history of saying tone-deaf stuff, like sexual jokes at his own wedding and weird comments in general. He said to me at their wedding, "I'm gonna make you an uncle tonight, bro." When I called that out, my sister brushed it off with, "He's just joking, and drunk, don't take it so seriously." That's kind of her whole thing. Dismissive, excuse-filled, never accountable, never been very close with her. Now she's blaming her behavior on baby stress and sleep deprivation. During the worst months when my partner was collapsing and I was barely functioning, not one of them checked in. No visits, no messages, nothing, just judgment and gossip. That was the moment I snapped. I blocked them both and went no contact, said what I really thought of them, and they twisted my words claiming I threatened my brother-in-law. It's been about 6 months. My partner and I have finally moved out, detoxed, and started feeling like ourselves again. Now my mom and grandma, who just flew in from overseas, keep pushing the "you need to fix this" angle. They say things like, "If you love us, you'll do it. His family doesn't like you. You're missing out on seeing your niece grow up." When I told them I wasn't the one who did anything wrong, my mom cried and said I've changed. But honestly, I don't feel like I've changed. I just stopped accepting emotional manipulation. I love my niece, but I'm not going to be guilted into forgiving people who abandoned and ridiculed me while my partner and I were fighting to breathe. I'm in my late 20s. My parents didn't believe me either at the time because of my sister's gossip. I'm the youngest too, so it's always been like that. The first real time I said no to all of them, and this is how I'm getting treated. So, am I the asshole for refusing to make peace with my sister and her husband when I was the one disrespected, gaslit, and left alone during a medical crisis? Am I the asshole for asking my friend's boyfriend to pay $150 after he had an accident on my couch? On Halloween, my boyfriend and I went out to a bar with friends, including my friend Jake and his boyfriend Dylan. We were all drunk and went back to my place at 1 a.m. to hang out since everyone's cars were there from the pregame. At some point, Dylan fell asleep on the couch. While we were talking, another friend suddenly told us Dylan was having an accident on himself. But it was too late, and it was soaked into my couch cushion. Jake didn't do anything, so another friend carried Dylan to the bathroom. My boyfriend had already gone to bed. When we came back, Dylan was gone. Somehow, while we were grabbing towels, he had gotten into our bed, still in his accident-soaked clothes, and laid down next to my sleeping boyfriend. He got accident all over the bed. We found him a few minutes later, woke my boyfriend up, and another friend moved Dylan back to the couch. Except he laid on the other side this time and got accident there too, as well as on the blanket he used. I told my boyfriend not to make a big scene because I figured Jake and Dylan would already be embarrassed. We threw our bedding in the wash and ended up sleeping on the floor. Jake and Dylan stayed the night and left around 8 a.m. without cleaning anything, offering to help or apologizing. When we woke up around 10 a.m., the smell was horrible. We texted and called them, no answer for hours. I finally bought a carpet upholstery cleaner for $150 and started cleaning the couch, mattress, and blankets. I texted Jake, "So I adore you and Dylan, but our couch smells like accident, so we have to clean it. It's gonna be $150. I'm going to request Dylan pay for it." My boyfriend told Dylan he should cover the cost, and when they eventually answered at 2 p.m., he said to request it from Jake on Venmo. 8 hours later, at 10 p.m. that night, Jake replied to my text from that morning, "Hey IDK, if it's fair for Dylan to pay $150. If he gives you half, would that be cool?" We could have used our own carpet cleaner. They never offered to bring one earlier, and by then, I was long done cleaning. I calmly explained that the expense wasn't optional. We had to clean their mess, and that $150 was cheaper than professional cleaning or replacing the cushions. Jake responded, "Whatever, dude. If that's how y'all feel, take your money," and then Venmo'd me the full $150. I didn't reply. Today he texted, "I'll bring the sweats you let us borrow so we don't have to pay you for those as well. I'll leave them on your porch. We've been friends for almost 10 years, and I'm shocked by how petty and disrespectful he's been about this. Am I the asshole for asking for reimbursement?